If you are looking for a pre-built PC under $1,000 that can run any game that you want, high FPS, then you want to take a look at this PC that I have for you today, which is the Skytech Nebula. I made a review about this system a couple of weeks ago, but now it's time for a more complete in-depth review about it. So in this unbiased review, I will be testing this system in more games. You will see the full specifications and I will tell you whether you should buy it or not depending on your budget and needs. The link to this exact same system that I have for you today will be down below in the video description, just in case you want to buy it. My name is Valentino. With that being said, let's start. First, I'll talk about the specifications for this system and I will keep it simple for you in case you are a beginner and you do not understand anything about computers. Well, for the graphics card, you get the RTX 4060 from Nvidia. This GPU or graphics card is ideal for 1080p resolution, high to ultra settings, and you can also play at 1440p 60 plus FPS on average in high demanding games depending on the exact title. Then for the CPU, you get the i5-13400F, and this is a mid-range CPU that's going to be perfect to pair with the RTX 4060 because both are on the same tier and they are not going to bottleneck each other, which is the most important thing when talking about the CPU and GPU combo. And in terms of gaming performance, the i5-13400F processor is going to be able to achieve 240 plus FPS in competitive settings in games that are high CPU demanding like Fortnite, Valorant, CS2, and this type of esports shooters. Possibly even 360 plus FPS on average, but don't worry because I will show you the level of performance in just a moment. For the storage, you get a 1TB SSD, which is standard for gaming and it's going to be enough for most people. However, if you ever need more storage because you want to download more games, you can easily upgrade down the line with no issues, and the same thing happens with the memory. Here you get 16 gigs of RAM, which once again is enough and standard for gaming, but if you want to do something like streaming with a bunch of tabs open, or you want to create content at a higher level with video editing softwares, then having 32 gigs of RAM is going to be better, but this is something that you can always upgrade in the near future if you need it. In terms of this PC design, you get a good amount of RGB, which by the way you can always turn off in case you do not like RGB, and you can control all of this lighting in the RGB software that comes pre-installed with this system. Here you have some cool RGB settings that you can play with. And then airflow wise, which is very important, the airflow inside of the system is one of the most important things. Well, it's actually amazing for the price. You get 4 pre-installed RGB fans, and then you get an aftermarket CPU cooler for the i5-13400F, so you do not have to worry about any overheating issues for the CPU or GPU because the temps are going to be completely fine since the airflow is actually pretty good. Now let's go through the fun part, the FPS test. Let's see the actual level of performance at 1080p and 1440p resolution from this system. For this test, just like my last Nebula review, I will be testing a high demanding game and then I will be testing an esports shooter, and after that I will show you many games, but now let's go through the first test, which is a high demanding game in Hogwarts Legacy. So we are testing Hogwarts Legacy at 1080p ultra settings, no DLSS on or any upscaler, and as you can see on the top left you can see the FPS in real time and you can also see the FPS average right below, and we are achieving an average of 136 FPS at the moment, and as you can see the number is very high. It feels very smooth, so very strong level of performance in a high demanding game like Hogwarts Legacy. Big thumbs up for this title while testing the Nebula. Now we are testing the esports shooter. This time is CS2 and the FPS is all over the place, to be honest. You cannot see the FPS average. I couldn't get it working for this test. I had to retest it after to see the FPS average, but it wasn't capturing for some reason. So yeah, the FPS average here was over 300 FPS. Well, it was over 400 FPS, so very strong level of performance in case you want to compete in a shooter like CS2 or Fortnite or Valorant or just any esports shooter. Now that you've seen how this PC performs in different type of games at 1080p resolution, here you have the full benchmark with different types of games and different resolutions. First, you are seeing 1080p ultra settings in high demanding games, and if you want you can pause the video to see the FPS average on each game and also to see the total FPS average average on top. Moving on, we have the 1080p esports games test in competitive settings. Once again, you can pause the video if you want to see the exact FPS average or the total FPS average. And now the last test is going to be 1440p resolution with DLSS on in high demanding games. And just like I said before, pause the video if you want to see the FPS average for each game and total. So as you can see, pretty impressive level of performance for both 1080p and 1440p resolution, especially considering that this system is under $1,000. But now let's get deeper into the price. So this PC, when I'm recording this video, is $847, and remember that maybe when you're watching this is a bit cheaper or maybe a bit more expensive, the price might be different, so I highly recommend you checking the latest pricing and availability from the links down below, because maybe when you're watching this is also out of stock, so go ahead and check by yourself by the time that you are watching it. Now there's one thing that you need to be aware of, and that's going to be the scams for this system. Yes, this system is amazing in terms of price or performance, but there have been some subscribers buying this system at crazy discounts, like $500 for this PC or even less, and trust me guys, those are scams. You should only buy this system if it says shipped from Amazon and sold by Amazon. You can check this on the website from the link in the description, and I've seen this system go on nice discounts like $650, but I've never seen this system under $650. And when you see that this PC is under $650, please just make sure that it's being sold and shipped from Amazon. In that case, you can buy it, it's not going to be a scam. But if it's not being sold by or shipped from Amazon, just be aware that it might be a scam. Moving on, let's talk about the price to performance ratio. Well, for about $850, the price to performance ratio is actually pretty amazing. I mean, not only because of the level of performance that you get for under $1,000, but also because if you compare it with other systems in the market, most of them at the same price point, well, most of them either have a worse GPU, worse CPU, or the airflow is just not going to be enough. And there's only one pre-built PC that I do recommend you considering if you were going to buy this Skytech Nebula, and that pre-built PC is from Skytech as well, but this time from their website in this Skytech Chronos. Now keep in mind that this one is more expensive, but it comes with the RTX 3070, which is about 30% faster compared to the RTX 4060, so you will be achieving higher FPS. And then you get 32 gigs of RAM, which is going to be ideal if you want to do streaming or content creation. And then you get a liquid cooler, which is going to be enough for the i7 processor, but it's also going to be enough in case you want to upgrade your CPU down the line. Now keep in mind that this one is $100 more expensive, so if you were going to buy the Nebula and you are willing to spend $100 more, I do recommend you buying this one, and you are buying directly from the manufacturer, which is Skytech. So if anything goes wrong with this system, you can always reach the company that is assembling these systems. And also you will have the link to this exact same Skytech Chrono system in the description alongside the Skytech Nebula. So now let me give you my final thoughts on whether you should buy this system or not. If you have less than $1,000 to spend, especially if you have less than $900 to spend, and you want a new pre-built PC, so you do not want to build a system yourself and you are going to be playing at 1080p, or maybe if you play at 1440p, you are going to be turning on the DLSS, which is the upscaler from Nvidia, especially in those high demanding titles, well, I do believe that this system is the best one in terms of price to performance in the entire market. In my opinion, at this price point, it's kind of a no-brainer. However, if you want to play the latest high demanding games at 4K resolution, then you are looking to spend more money. There's no pre-built PC out there that's going to be $1,000 and will allow you to play at 4K on the latest, most high demanding AAA titles. So in that case, yes, you shouldn't buy this system and you should spend more money. Also, if you want to see other points about this Skytech Nebula, for example, the pros and cons, or maybe you want to see how this PC compares with other pre-built PCs in the market, then you can watch my first review about it. You will have that video in the top right of the screen. And if you found valuable information, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It's going to help a lot. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for support, and I will see you on the next one.